Hello everyone, welcome to our timeless oracle reading. Our oracle card for today belongs to the Shamanic Healing Oracle Cards, and the card for today is entitled Grounding. It's very interesting to look at this picture of the card. Within that card is two kernels, a pair of kernels. Makes me think of the masculine, the feminine, the opposites in our body. They are together in one, in the center. And there are a lot of, there are four things that makes us attached to nature. Makes me think of our interconnectedness with the thing or with that which we came from. When I think of grounding, when I was reflecting on it earlier today, the first thing that came to me, or one of the first things that came to me, was like the image of a mother and a child connected to each other through an umbilical cord. We are symbolized by that infant in the mother's womb, and the umbilical cord is our connection that grounds us to the source. The source of our nutrients is the mother, who is holding us within her womb. And this umbilical cord is our sort of connection to the source. So when you look at it, through the umbilical cord, we are cleansed of those poisons that we usually develop after a certain period of time as we slowly grow. So along the way, we develop negative things, and those negative things are being drained through the umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord, which can symbolize our groundedness or our connectedness with the source, which can be symbolized by the mother who holds the child in the womb. So when we look at it at that image, through the umbilical cord or through groundedness, we are cleansed. At the same time, we receive the necessary nutrients that we need in order for us to continue to survive and to continue to grow. So all the nutrients, all the oxygen that we need, everything that we need, we receive through the umbilical cord that connects us to the source. At the same time also, we are protected by the source itself, because it's not only the umbilical cord, but we are within a sac, like the amniotic sac or whatever it is. We are within the womb of the mother, and we feel protected and we are safe. I feel that is a very good description of how it is to be grounded. Being grounded is being in touch with the source, knowing that we are not alone, that we are loved, and that we don't have to go through life on our own. If we forget that, what is being described in the handbook regarding the unnatural ways of being grounded comes into play. When we try to rely only on ourselves, sometimes we try to get rid of the negative emotions, the tensions that we encounter in life through artificial means. So sometimes that's when sometimes we fall into addiction to certain things, like we fall into smoking to relieve stress, we fall into alcoholism to free us from the pain of whatever it is that we are encountering in our present life journey. So we try to ground ourselves artificially in such a way to remove or to cleanse ourselves of those negative things that we encounter as we grow through life. So what happens is we rely on ourselves, and so we try to make artificial means to free ourselves. And so sometimes we fall into bad habits or to addictions, because we realize that the grounding mechanism that we do, which is artificial or unnatural, can only sustain us up to a certain period of time. And we needed some more and more and more and more, so that we can constantly free ourselves of those negative things that we have taken with us. So what happens is, sooner or later, we become dependent on these things. Now, the invitation of the card is to re-establish our groundedness, to re-establish that umbilical cord with the source, with the divine, and allow the divine to cleanse our life of all those negative energies. That's why the rituals that we developed at the end of the day or at the start of the day, where we energetically cleanse ourselves, this is one way of being grounded. And when you look at it, when you do the meditations to cleanse yourself, part of it is being aware of the divine. Sometimes they look at her or at the divine in their life, depending on their faith, depending on their belief. For those who do not believe in faith, they would look at it as energy or universe. For those who believe in more of nature, they would look at the divine in their life as Gaia or other points of view that they have. For some, they would look at the divine as God or other names. The important thing is, whatever your faith, whatever your way of thinking is, oftentimes as you deepen in that direction that you are going to, you realize that there is truly a divine in your life. And grounding is re-establishing that umbilical cord to that divine in your life, whatever faith or way of thinking that you have or you have learned to embrace. So the important thing there is that groundedness, and allowing that groundedness to cleanse ourselves, to provide us with the nourishments that we need, to protect us also from whatever danger that we feel are in our midst. So in a certain sense, grounding is that realization that you are not alone, that you are loved unconditionally. In spite of where you are loved, and that you are constantly being cleansed, constantly being protected, and that you need to recognize it, and that that is the best source for you to be grounded, rather than relying on things that you know will not be sufficient to truly protect you or truly nourish you. So in a certain sense, when you realize that you don't have to carry the burdens of life alone, then the chances of being grounded truly is higher. When you realize that you just need to do what you can do or you can manage, and entrust the rest to the divine that is there constantly with you, then the process of being grounded is starting on its way. So let's try to read from the handbook that accompanies this card, and maybe we can gain more insights and more understanding regarding how it is to be truly grounded. As humans, our bodies are of the earth. It is a natural inclination when we experience uncomfortable emotions or energy to ground it out, much in the way a ground wire works with electrical current. However, with so much in our modern lives that causes us to be disconnected from Creator or the Source, we tend to gravitate towards false grounding. Overeating, smoking, drinking, and recreational drugs are common ways some try to ground. These items are of the earth, but they are not the earth. This is not a true grounding, and as such, it cannot sustain. It does not last. What ends up happening is that, as with most experiences that are false, we need more and more to achieve the same result. To truly ground and connect to both the earth and Creator, practice consciously connecting your energy to the earth. You should not be getting your energy outside yourself, but directly from the divine. This is achieved through meditation, energy work, and mindfulness. Find a way that works for you and practice it. By drawing this card, you are being asked to look at areas in your life where you may be employing false grounding as a coping mechanism. Well, that's it for today. I know that this may be a new way of looking at things for some of you, but when you give it some time and try to listen to it and work on it, you will understand it a little bit more. Some things are being said or expressed in symbols because oftentimes the divine in us uses symbols for us to understand things. But we learn things as we grow. When when we are ready, we get to understand certain thoughts. So every once in a while, you will notice there are certain videos or certain books that every time you go back to them and try to listen or to read them, you gain new insights. It's because the time differences between the last time you read it and the time you're reading it at this moment is the time difference of your growth. You have already grown from that moment you first read it into the next moment you read it again, and so the insights become different because as you grow, you look at life in a different way or through a different lens. So whatever or however this video resonates with you, just take it as it is for now, because that is what you are intended to learn at this moment. And maybe in the future, you might encounter the same video again and you will look at it in a different light. The important thing is that openness to the spirit and that realization that no matter what faith or no matter what way of thinking you have, there are universal truths that are common in them. And through these universal truths, we learn to understand each other and we learn to respect each other's growth level in our journeys. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for the likes and comments you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again soon. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.